It's Jimmy's podcast, season
11.
on the podcast. We coming back for more. I bet you never thought we'd last, and neither did we.
Well,
Breaking news, show reviews, rubber boots reactions, and other social media crap. And if nothing else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. You're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
I guess we're underway. This is a different looking podcast. If you're listening, if you're watching on YouTube, we're playing with the, what do you call it? The alignment of
The layout.
The
head,
visual
the layout.
display.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, I've asked for my head to be large and Bump's to be almost invisible. Welcome, Bump. He's making his comeback. There was just an outcry on social media over the past week, and by that I mean one guy. It might have been a Bump burner account who said, "Why aren't you on the pod anymore?" And so we listened, and as I've this is his season debut, right? Stoff, Bump's season debut.
Yes, season 11 debut for Bump.
Right.
I was made fun of in, I believe, episode 2.
You're made fun of in every episode, are you not?
Okay, maybe. Great to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Is this your first appearance since the podcast almost got canceled because of your lackluster performance at the Masters Pod last year?
Ouch. You're going to bring emotional Bump back.
The emotional vein I showed.
No, don't do it. Don't do it again.
Yes, Bump.
Puffy, where's Puffy?
St. Lucia.
Puppy's in
Oh,
St.
Puffy.
Lucia.
Puffy, for as much as I talk about Turks, no person gets more tropical vacations than Puffy. I would say
Got a
3
great
a year.
wife.
Good
Huh?
point. A very good point.
He's got a highfalutin executive wife. I think he's got a PJ. Puffy just tags along and they go over. And he's got in-laws that just... I think Puffy takes all these trips and I don't think he spends a dime. It's either on Tanya or her parents.
Really?
Yeah, it's
That's pretty good.
We'll see if they can adopt me.
He shares Taylor Swift's private jet, right?
Now, Jimmy,
For only $1.49 a month, you could adopt Lester and take him on all your vacation. It could be part of our Parthenon, right? The Parthenon, the Rubber Boots Parthenon.
I've given like $10 to
Puffy?
Rubber Boots Plus or
Oh, okay.
Oh, you signed
whatever.
up?
What has that got me, and why did it route me to Albania?
Well, that's our parent company.
That's why you're on the pod this week. You're the only guy who signed up for Rubber Boots Plus.
This is one of the perks,
Pays
yes.
for the benefits.
It's a lovely clock behind you. Is that symbolic
It is.
of anything? Is this your office?
No, it's my kitchen.
Oh, it's just a giant clock on the wall and that's all?
Yeah, and then we got the kitchen.
That's how he passes the time.
Well, look at them showing off.
Right,
Look at
all
that.
my Gordon
Gorgeous
Ramsay work
island.
right there.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Got a Winnipeg Blue Bombers little cap on. You're looking good, buddy.
Well, it was a hat day last week, so I figured I should join in.
Yeah.
This might be the first Rubber Boots pod I've done in a tie and shirt. I literally ran from our set. So I'm in Vegas, hence my new nickname, which I'm going to use going forward. I am Jimmy Vegas. I'm here for Super Bowl. You guys probably know that. And I am in our luxurious suite, not really, at the, I don't know what it is. I think we're in a Marriott because we always stay in Marriotts to get points. It's the Marriott, holiday vacation club or something like that. We're just off the strip, but it's about a 10-minute walk to the Cosmo, where we used to stay for the Stanley Cup finals. And we have a suite on the 38th floor of the Cosmo looking down the strip. That's where we've been doing our hits this week for Super Bowl with Luke Wilson and Davis Sanchez and Kara Waglin, Farhan Lalji, Dave Naylor, Marissa Roberto, et cetera, et cetera. So I ran here because...
It looks fantastic, by the way. It looks fantastic.
Does it?
That backdrop there looks killer. So good. I saw you last night with Onraid as well with the turtleneck, which I want to talk about later on.
Okay.
But that was good.
That was, I was trying to fit in on that show where Onraid all he does is wear turtlenecks now. I also have makeup on. Can you guys tell when I have makeup on?
100%. You look way better.
Yeah. This is vast improvement.
Because I just usually we never have makeup artists on the road. You know that at the Masters, right? We're just me and Weeksy and Dillette. We're supposed to bring a little powder, and you just powder yourself and you go on the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it was at Super Bowl Bump until Kara started coming. As soon as Kara started coming to Super Bowl, now we got a full scale makeup artist. So I never know when you get the makeup artist. You never know. I always say just put a little powder on me, but you never know if you're going to get the full coffin treatment. Does this look like a full coffin treatment today? I don't know. I don't like it.
It looks good. I think it looks good.
Hair looks good though.
The hair is killer. Oh my god. Good.
What are you thinking about my Niners chances? What are you thinking? What's the vibe right now?
I think they're going to win.
You can come back next week. Puffy's gone.
And my brother's a Niners fan, so he'll love that I said that too. But I don't think, like I've watched all the hits from the week.
Thank you.
And I just don't know if Kansas City. I don't think Kansas City will be able to pressure Purdy as they did Lamar, because I think blocking scheme wise, the Niners are better. Running back, and especially with Kittle.
Bump is just bringing the Bump, by the way, for listeners who don't know, is the producer of CFL football, so he has the knowledge, right?
But is he aware of the fourth down?
That's good stuff. That's good.
Why don't you explain it to him, Stoff, just to make sure he might change his opinion on the Chiefs?
For sure.
So instead of 2 plays,
they will have 3 plays to get to
What,
Purdy.
3 plays? No, I'm still on the Niners. I wasn't aware. Is the rouge in effect in the NFL? Is there a rouge?
there's no rouge.
No, there is no rouge, unfortunately.
Go ahead, Stoff. What's the key?
I think the key for the Niners will be more so running the ball and establishing a good running game, because that's Casey's bigger weakness on defense. And I think Casey will be able to get after Brock, so I think the running game will be key, and it's just, can Shanahan be disciplined and stick with that? And I think he's a pretty good coach, good in-game adjustments, so he should be able to do it. But
that's what Baltimore didn't do. They gave up on the run too early. Baltimore did in that game. Anyway, go ahead. Puffy and you have put in a parlay. You got a parlay?
Yes, so we got a parlay, and it's not very Niner friendly because we are taking KC with the points. So KC +2 and the under.
Furthermore to our conversation last week, I have not put the recommended $3,000 on the Chiefs, so I will feel good either way. So because I said that would just be disingenuous to my Niners as a lifelong Niner fan. So I'm going to suck it up. You know what? I'm going to break even. My heart will be broken if they lose, but I will break even financially no matter what happens in this game. Guys, I went to the Sphere. You want to hear about this?
I don't want to hear about the Sphere. I just want to say one thing before we move off the Super Bowl thing, and that is this. You guys are bigger football fans than I am, but I will just say I just really am looking forward to the spectacle this year. I mean, Jimmy, it's in Vegas. I'm sure it's just buzzing there. Things are going nuts. People are popping off. I hope the game matches the intensity of the hype, because with the whole Swift thing and Kelsey, and then again you're in Vegas and the Niners. I think it's going to be fantastic, and I just hope Usher. We're going to talk about Usher too. I think there's tremendous, and I think this could be, quite frankly, the most watched Super Bowl in a long, long time for a lot of reasons.
Roger Goodell was saying that earlier this week, expecting 200 million in America, which is nuts. I think it'll be a good game, close game. I think there's a chance it might be a non-big play game. Both these defenses don't give up the big plays, and the Chiefs could just 4 or 5 yards of play go down the field on the Niners. The Niners could do the same if they get that running game that Stoff was talking about going. So it could be one of those games that doesn't have the 75-yard touchdowns and such.
Brandon Ayuk. I think could be massive, because I think he can beat, if they get him on man-to-man every once in a while, or even Debo. They can get Debo on man-to-man in open space. He's gone, and I think Ayuk can beat most of the cornerbacks. And
you're making me feel so much better. Ayuk runs the best patterns in the league.
I do like the Niners, and I don't like to say that because my brother's a Niners fan. So
thank you.
Do you guys find it odd for the Super Bowl? Because these are two great teams, and it's a great matchup. And there seems to be, from the neutral fans, there's a lot of that energy that's like, I wish they could both lose. Like, people don't like either of this team. Yeah. And I actually don't find either team that unlikable. I understand the Chiefs have been dominant, and that's what makes them unlikable. But they're a very likable group of guys, like Mahomes, Kelsey, I think they're very likable. Mm-hmm. Same with the Niners. You have a story of a guy who's been picked last in the draft, and he made it to the Super Bowl, and people hate him for it. I just find it so odd that these two franchises, no one really wants to see them in the Super Bowl outside their own fan bases. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think on the Chiefs, it's kind of a statement of where we are in the world, of how sick we get of things so fast, and we just want to move on to the next thing. I think that has a lot to do with it. because I'm the same way. I can't hate on the Chiefs. I think Kelsey's a really good guy. I love what he's done. I think Mahomes is awesome. So I like Andy Reid. I think maybe with Mahomes, that he annoys some people. If you watch all the NFL film stuff, he's maybe a little bit too hype, people think. I don't know why you could think that. I mean, that's the thing I think as a Niners fan most intimidating. I was watching the NFL's films version of last year's Super Bowl and then the Super Bowl over the Niners. And that guy, man, when they're down, he's just like, we got this, he's so, I can't imagine Brock Purdy yelling up and down the sidelines if the Niners are down 7. And so I think that's one of the great things about Mahomes. I'm with you, Stoff. I'm not sure about the Niners hate. I mean, the Purdy hate has been strange all season. Maybe it was just like he got love last year and it was a nice novel story last year. And this year they were already sick of it and wanted to pick his game apart. It's very strange. We like to hate people who get successful quickly, I think.
Well, I think too, I think there were people that were rooting for Lamar in Baltimore. And I think Detroit's story about not being there for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to have new teams in there.
Yeah,
if it's not your team, you'd want different teams in. At least that's how I am. And since I'm a Bears fan, they're never in it. So I just want to see different teams. But I think Detroit captured a lot of people. I think they did.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anyway, it's been a cool week. I got some great dinners. I haven't gambled once, although I got to go to a high roller table with Davis Sanchez last night. Jamie, you know where that goes.
That's right.
What I figured out, and Davis wasn't necessarily high rolling a lot, but he is, I guess, a high roller, so he gets into like the high roller place.
Mm-hmm.
We were into some high roller room at the Cosmo that there was only a few guys in there, and by the way, just CFL connection, just for bump. We sit down and there's 2 guys at the table who are playing with Davis. The only basically people in this entire room right now. And they start talking. And this guy was like a tech guy from Cal who made $1 gazillion because he sold his company, started to DoorDash. But in like 30 seconds, we found out he was best buddies with Kenny Lawler of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Like in 2 minutes, we found that out.
That's so random.
Yeah. So yeah, Davis. But Davis goes into these things because you get free drinks. And so we're about to go to dinner. He's like, get a drink. And I'm like, well, I'll just get one on dinner. He goes, no, you get a drink here. It's free. And then you take it to dinner. So high rollers are also cheap.
You got to listen. All these guys that have money, they know how to save money, right? So it's good. It's a good lesson in life. That was a simultaneous drink you guys had there, right there. It was crazy.
It's pretty impressive. That's what
I know. Unbelievable.
What we do.
Sorry, I cut you off before, Jimmy, because you were going to talk about the sphere, and I do want to talk about that.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight of the week for me. So I said this on Jay's show last night, but I wasn't going to go. I said at the beginning of the week, is anybody going to go to this U2 thing? And everybody said, the tickets are like $450. And, we're fairly busy here. So, and then I got in an elevator and there was this young lady, quite a striking young lady, I might add, from England. I said, I said, hey, where are you from? And she says, England. And I said, what are you here for? She goes, for the U2 show in the Sphere. And I said, oh, you came all the way from England for that? She goes, yes, I saved my money for 6 months just for this. And it struck me. And I was like, people around the world are coming here just for this concert. And Jimmy's already here, working. So why don't I better go? And so we had the night off, and Ryan Vardy, the Vardy Party, our cameraman, he's been on the Masters podcast. I said to him, can I talk into going to U2? He might have done a favor for me earlier in the day, so I might have helped him out. Bought some tickets at Ticketmaster, and I got them for, it was expensive. It wasn't great. It was like $375 US each or something like that. They were expensive, but I said,
Brooksy will be down a bag.
Carpe diem, right? Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you the full night. It's an incredibly cool building, as you've seen from the pictures. Really neat inside because it's so brand new, like all marble flooring and stuff. It's so vertical. Like you go up very steep. So there's 4 levels. You can get general admission, then you get the 100s. And I'd read online, be careful on the 100s because there's an overhang from the 200s. So if you get too far back in the 100s, you can't see the whole sphere. That's like the one. So I avoided those. I didn't want to go in general admission and stare up and crank my neck all night. So I got the 300s. And the bottom line for anybody, I'm starting to give consumer advice here, but if anybody goes to the Sphere at some point to see U2 or whoever, they're all pretty good seats. I would just get the cheapest seat you can get. I will say, like the 300s, 400s, you are a long way from the stage. I don't know if you guys, I posted a couple of short videos. Like it's a long way. It's true nosebleeds, but it doesn't matter because the Sphere is like the entire show.
You're not really paying attention to U2, are you? Like, you're not looking at U2 on the stage like you would at a normal time.
Right. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. So I'll tell you all the good stuff. I'll give my two criticisms first. My only two things I would say is I didn't know it was Actung Baby. Actung Baby.
Yeah, it's Actung Baby. Right.
That was the album. Like, you know how guys do concerts or even old bands come back and do retro concerts. It was heavy on that album, which is not my favorite U2 album. So there's probably like 6 or 7 songs in the show out of 25 that I was like, I could care less about. I'm a U2 fan, but not a huge U2 fan. I don't like the heavier U2 stuff. But they did play most of the hits as well. The other thing was in the middle of the show, for about 45 minutes, they kind of turned off the Sphere. And they only used a small portion of it, kind of like a normal concert, like a Jumbotron would be behind Bono. And I think that's probably U2 saying it's about the music, right? It's not about the Sphere. And I'm like, I'm in the Sphere. Like by the third song, I'm like, bring me back to the damn Sphere, right? So I thought that was a bit of a wasted opportunity. Like at one point I thought, is this thing broken? And they're not using it. So I would say, probably 2/3 of the songs, they really use the full Sphere, but maybe 1/3 they don't. So I hope the next band in there just goes full out. Although then maybe I thought, is it sensory overload? Is that why they're giving people a break? Because you'll go nuts. The other thing,
for all the Michael Bublé's on mushrooms.
Wow, Jimmy doesn't use the narcotics, but I kept thinking the whole show. I'm sure there was a lot of people that were using. You would be like, if you were on, I don't know, acid or whatever, or maybe just heavy gummies, that thing would freak the heck out of you.
Funny how you went right to acid.
Yeah, I was just discussing innocent little shrooms.
Yeah.
Remember the scene in
Let's Do Acid.
I think it's This Is 40, where Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen go to the Cirque du Soleil show on mushrooms, and then they start going. It's like the shrooms have turned on us, and everything starts getting warped. That's, I think, what would happen at the Sphere. But it is such a mind-boggling technical thing and such an amazing place to watch a concert. Like the things that I can't wait to see, like the next bands in there, because the things you can do, it was just insane. There was my favorite part was Where the Streets Have No Name, which is one of everybody's favorite U2 songs too. And there's a long musical intro to that. I'll send it to you guys. Probably like a 1.5-minute musical intro before the guitar keys come in, that start.
Oh yeah, that's killer.
And it starts, it's like a dark, typical concert. The stage is lit up orange. And then basically as they're doing the intro, the sun starts to come up in the Sphere.
Oh, killer.
And in a 2-minute span, the sun comes up and now you're in the desert. But it's not just what you're seeing on the screen. The entire Sphere lights up to the extent where it looks like you're outside. Like you feel like you are outside at a concert. And I looked around and like it's 100% daylight. And the lighting is so unbelievable. So, and then another part, they basically act like the Sphere wall is gone. So you see Vegas right behind you with like cars moving and everything and helicopters flying by. It absolutely boggled my freaking mind. For the YouTube listeners, I'll pull something up here on my phone. The YouTube watchers, just to show you.
I just while you're doing that, Jimmy, looking at Actung Baby, Zeusation, better than the real, even better than the Real Thing, and probably Mysterious Ways were the 3 tunes that I know off that record. And
I think they played like 3 others that were, just not the bestest, So here's one part. I'll try to. Where's my camera? Here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's hard to catch here, but so that is okay. Where am I going here? That's like the sphere. So I'm looking up with my camera right now. So you're surrounded basically all around by this stuff.
I feel like I'm on acid now.
Yeah,
There's Elvis like stuff coming up there, and then that's down. So that's the stage. That's the stage down there. Is that the album cover for it?
Well, they have all those colors, right? Isn't that Octung Baby's album cover?
Looks like it actually when I come to think of it.
Kind of looks like.
Here's what I was talking about. So there's the beginning of Where the Streets Have No Name, and I won't show the whole thing because it's 3 minutes long. But slowly you start to see this kind of flag made out of clouds, right? So you can see the stage below, and then it starts to get lighter and lighter. Here comes the sun. Oh, sorry, this is hard to see with the sun. Yeah, it doesn't do it justice on a screen, but
your screen isn't the same quality as the sphere. FYI.
But the screen of my phone showing on the screen of my MacBook to you guys is not quite the quality. Yeah, so I would highly recommend it especially if it's a band you love that comes there next time. Bono sounded great to me. Still got it. That he's 63, but still cool.
Where did you meet this British girl? Where did you talk to her?
On an elevator.
In an elevator. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, that's why we brought you on.
This is exactly
Come on, Lester.
Yeah, well, that's a good one.
Instead of elevation.
No, it is.
Lester's decided he's not laughing at other people's jokes now.
No. It's
protesting. So, Jimmy, were you in Vegas for when they turned the sphere into the Eagles championship ring? Because they did that. I saw a couple days ago. The entire sphere on the outside was the Eagles Super Bowl championship ring.
Yeah, actually, they put a million things up there at the same time, so I did not get a photo of that for you, buddy. I apologize for that. Mm-hmm. But the other crew, Davis and Nicole, and I think some of the gang, there's a movie they show. If you don't want to fork out the money for you two, I think there's a movie they show, kind of like a Planet Earth type movie. And, kind of, what was the place that we used to have in Toronto in the circular
Cinesphere?
Little Cinesphere? Yeah, the Cinesphere. Yeah, so it's like a version of that 20 times better on steroids, basically.
Wow.
I would say.
And acid.
Yeah, and acid.
Depends what you're on, I guess.
So there you go. By the way, it's Friday for everybody. You're probably watching this on Saturday or listening to this on Saturday or Sunday or God knows when. You might be May of 2025 by the time you catch up, right?
That's when I will listen to
Sean Morrison.
That's right. What do you got in the old missive for us today, buddy? I've not read
a lot of things.
I've not read the Christoff missive today. So
I was thinking we usually save the Platinum League for the end, but since this is the final and we're now on the deciding 7th prop, we could give these guys a shout out here.
Are you saying we're down as we speak right now? The winner has not been decided?
No, we've had 2 weeks of the final, 3 props each weekend, and we are tied at 3-3 between Andrew Arsenault and Marcus McCarthy.
Wow, this is one of the most dramatic.
It is one of the most dramatic
podcast league finishes ever.
Now, the crazy part about this, there's nothing fake about this league, Jimmy, first and foremost.
It's all real.
The league is real. The podcast, debatable. But in Platinum League 1, Andrew Arsenault already went 7 props in the final, and he lost on the 7th and final prop. So he's definitely hoping to reverse history here, although it will be Marcus who gets to pick the deciding prop. So basically, the deciding prop, I'm thinking, is either going to be the spread on the game or the total.
Do the total.
Do the total, you think? Yeah. What do you think, Jimmy?
Total's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Or you could do just something completely random like the coin toss or something, but that would be...
I mean, you cannot leave Platinum League to a total coin toss, Jimmy. Come on.
How about how many over-under on how many times they show Taylor Swift?
I am not counting that.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, total's good.
Football purist right there.
Best of luck to those guys. We'll do the total. Marcus will choose. Andrew will obviously get the opposite choice, and whoever wins it. And then
over under right now is 47.5.
Your name will go down in history next to Jeff Laughlin and Bob Weeks. So,
How many Hall of Fames is Jeff McLaughlin in? Bet it ain't 5.
Is Weeksy really in 5?
Laughlin.
Is Weeksy really in 5?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it again?
Crazy.
Golf?
The Ontario Golf and Curling Hall of Fame, Canadian Golf and Curling Hall of Fame, and the Etobicoke Hall of Fame.
How many Masters do I have to host to get into the Ontario Golf Hall of Fame? Come on. Talk to people.
I think I'm more in line than you are.
You probably are, actually. I buried the lead, guys. This would have been the perfect way to start this podcast, and I did post it somewhere, I think on X, but you guys remember when in Miami 4 years ago, ironically enough, when the Niners and Chiefs were last in the Super Bowl, Jimmy checked into his hotel very tired, very late. I think I'd done a Leafs game the night before and got up very early. So got to the hotel around noon and opened the door, dropped my luggage, walked in, and there was a naked man sleeping in my bed. Mm-hmm. That would have been probably off season. What season would have that been? Lester, Stoff?
That was early. 2, 3 maybe?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, it was only 4 years ago. So, yeah, you're right, because we do like 4 seasons a season now.
Yeah, it's impossible to keep
We're like
track.
Dancing with the Stars over here.
And though that was a humorous situation for podcasting, it was actually quite frightening because in America, I could have gotten shot, right? If this guy was sleeping, and if he was arisen from his sleep by Jimmy and terrified, and had a gun next to him, he could have shot me. It was the first time I've ever. I'm not a big complainer. I don't get angry, or I went down and was very upset with the hotel people.
Did you tell them I ordered an Asian male?
Jesus, what is wrong with you? You're creating your own Weimar endpoints.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
That's
okay for you to have a preference.
I like it.
He was a large Caucasian male. From what I got out of that room very quickly.
Anyway,
White would have done it enough justice there.
You guys see that Drake video? That leaked online?
Haven't seen it.
Well, I didn't see it, but did you hear about it?
I heard about it.
I mistakenly came upon it because I saw Drake was trending. And
try that again.
Weird choice of words there. Do go on. In other words, you liked the video.
I mistakenly discovered it.
Yes.
Do you think that was like Drake is very calculated. Mm-hmm. Is that a like a bragger leak?
Yes,
kind of thing.
I think so, because I don't think you take the chance of doing that in his position, even just of doing like that. So
the weird thing was, I just hosted this. Like it happened about hours after I hosted a FIFA show last weekend that Drake was on.
Yes,
and it was like the most professional Drake ever talking about Toronto. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm on like the third side of 4 sides, so please bring me back to the hotel room situation. But so we do this FIFA show for the release of the World Cup schedule to find out how many games are in Toronto and Vancouver, and it's very top secret the way FIFA does things. So we're going to be, they were kind enough to invite me on to do the Canadian segment of it. And the coach, Morrow, the interim coach, was going to be on with me. But I knew nothing else. And they're very top secret. So they wouldn't even tell us what was going to be announced until literally about 30 seconds before we were actually on the air. But they also have a script. They script the show like a film. And in the script, it just says Celeb 1, Celeb 2, Celeb 3 or whatever. And so they're doing a rehearsal, but they won't let us see the rehearsal, but I can hear it in my ear. The rehearsal had all sorts of problems. So the rehearsal only started 15 minutes before the show. And the rehearsal starts and I hear the host start and I'm like, well, this is weird. They got a host that sounds like Kevin Hart. And I found out it was Kevin Hart. So it's the first time I've ever been thrown to on a show by Kevin Hart. And then they had Drake on and they had Kim Kardashian on. This was the funny part. So they basically wanted to be in Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. Kevin Hart was in the studio hosting the show. So the Canadian angle of the show was me and the interim coach of Team Canada, who probably won't be there in 2026. Very good guy, Morrow. I hope he is there.
Was that our studio?
Yeah, it was in our studio. They had like the CN Tower behind us. And the American part of the show was sort of the American me and Kim Kardashian.
Don't you think it's hilarious that between Kevin Hart and Kim Kardashian, you're the tallest one of all three?
Why wouldn't they have had Drake there?
Why wouldn't they have Drake with me? I think Drake must have been in Miami or something, or they had to.
He was shooting a different type of video.
He's a place in Miami. Didn't he buy a place in Miami?
I think, but he was in
sure.
Miami. I think so. He wasn't in Toronto. If he was in Toronto, maybe I would have gotten to interview Drake, but because he wasn't there. Anyway, it was very strange that it went from me to Kim Kardashian. I just thought that was odd.
It's good company.
Yeah, good company. So where was I?
Coming back to the hotel.
We were talking about
the naked
we're
man
talking
in your
about.
hotel
We went
bed.
from the hotel to Drake's Wanger, to Kim Kardashian, and now back to So yeah, so that was an incident 4 years ago. So Jimmy checks into Vegas. I got in very late at night, maybe like 2:30 in the morning, and on Tuesday morning, and I walk into my hotel room and everything's fine. It's a nice spot we got in here at the old Marriott. But I'll just take you guys through. In my bedroom.
Look at this.
So this is like it's actually a nice, they got like a little kitchen.
Sweet.
Which is not as nice as Bump's house. But
technically you're in a hotel.
And so in the bedroom, there's my little bed. And then there's a giant bathtub. So this giant bathtub is full.
What?
When I check into my room.
Full of blood?
No, it's
Or water? Acid? Maybe it was acid. Maybe somebody was burning someone there. Was getting rid of the evidence. It's Vegas, man.
It is Vegas. He's right.
Okay, but do you think that somebody ran a bath and like the maid never and then like didn't empty the bath, so it was like dirty bath water, or that the cleaning staff maybe turned on the tap to clean the tub and never turned it off? But why would you plug the plug?
Sorry, but was the tub running?
No, the tub was not running. It was just full.
Okay, so they obviously didn't forget about it. They just left it there. There is a theory from one of our listeners, A. LeBoot, writes in, maybe the staff is a fan of the Rubber Boots pod, going all the way back to episode 1, #bath time. And he's obviously talking about daddy bath, so
holy crap.
That could have been it. But yeah, that is strange. Like, so do you think they just never cleaned your room?
No,
and it's from the last person?
No, the room seemed clean, but if you're cleaning the room, do you think you missed the tub? But who has a bath and leaves the bath full?
And it's also, the tub is right next to your bed, so it'd be hard to make the bed and not see it there, right?
Exactly.
And
that's weird.
And also, I didn't look closely to see if it was like dirty bath water with little hairs and stuff floating around it. I didn't look that closely. I had to reach in.
Did you have to reach in?
I had to reach
through. Reach in and do that?
See, I wouldn't have done that.
I had to. How am I supposed to empty the bath?
I would have left it as is, and I would have said, I would have asked the staff in the morning, because you were tired, I would have said, you guys got to come up here and look at this. What's going on? Because you basically let the evidence go down the drain. You have no complaint now.
Is it possible that I was thinking maybe there was a drip, and maybe nobody been in this room in 2 weeks, and there was a drip, but it wasn't. I didn't notice a drip that had filled, but it would be kind of coincidental that it dripped full yet was not overflowing as well, right?
No, that's somebody ran a bath and just didn't flush the pull the plug. That's all it is. I don't see any other scenario.
Unless Jimmy got home from the concert all shroomed up and did the bath himself and just didn't remember it.
You know what? I know what it is. You were late, and what happened is there was somebody waiting for you, but they just decided not to wait anymore, so they got out. And the person that was waiting for you in that tub was the Asian man from the hotel from many years ago.
There was no Asian man.
That was the problem, Lester.
How have we turned this into me luring an Asian male prostitute? This is a broken telephone game that's going to go sideways.
Was there any red hairs around it? Because it could have been Carrot Top. I hear some a lot of weird things.
Vegas is his domain.
The truth is, I am an energy saver, so I did take a bath in the water that existed before that.
The planet thanks you, James.
Anyway, sorry, Stoff. Continue with your show. I
don't even remember where
I digress.
We were talking about the Gold Bar League.
Yes, the Platinum League.
Thank God we have Lester.
Are we doing a Gold Bar League 4? Is this in the plans for the future here, Jimmy? Or
I don't know. Bump is, Bump not only a special guest star, but he's also an avid listener. Do you want us to do the Gold Barley?
I love the Gold Bar League. I live for it every week when it's on.
okay,
I said last year, there's some listeners that don't partake, that don't enjoy it. I think so as long as we minimize it in the podcast for the other listeners and just, at the bottom of every podcast, we let people know, I think so. I still have to come up with a prize for this Gold Bar League.
Yeah.
And maybe we should get some sort of trophy so these legends can get engraved. Who are the winners? Jeff Laughlin. Who else? Andrew Arsenault? No.
Bob Weeks, and they will be joined by Marcus McCarthy or Andrew Arsenault. So
okay, maybe design some sort of plaque.
Why don't you bring back a pen from the Marriott there in the hotel?
Why don't you just give them one of your Canadian Screen Awards?
The winner comes to Jimmy with Jimmy on his next trip and gets the use of the Asian male prostitute.
I'm in.
That is very generous.
In the dirty water.
What has happened? What has happened to this pod?
Puff's not even on this podcast, and it's gone sideways.
I know.
Maybe that's what it is.
He's the most rational guy left.
Puffy did do a episode of To the Rink this week from St. Lucia's. So.
He did he?
He did.
That's
However,
interesting.
I will say I made the executive decision that he will not be on this podcast because during the recording of To the Rink, at one point we had a 4.5 second delay.
Oh my God.
Like, Puffy was answering questions 2 questions after they were asked. It was
the lightning round was a mess.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that the Gold Bar League will conclude this Sunday with the total, and we'll have a champion that we'll talk about next week, and then we'll probably take a couple of weeks and then unveil plans for the
next Gold Bar
2024 Gold Bar League. Makes sense?
Yes, that definitely makes sense.
Maybe with a shortened season, we should make it shorter because you turned it into like a...
See, I like this where we do the Gold Bar regular season now, and then we do the postseason in the fall when the pod resumes.
That's normal.
That's the format. This way people are excited about it all summer. Just wondering what's going to happen in that Platinum League.
Like your favorite TV show, you're waiting for the new premiere.
It's all they think about.
Awesome. Like Curb Your Enthusiasm coming back.
How's Bump doing? Like, we didn't even ask Bump. How are you doing, Bump? You haven't been on the show in a while. How's life for Bump?
Life's good.
Yeah.
I was going to do this from my hot tub. I was going to do this episode from the hot tub.
You did post. Did you post a picture or send me a picture of you drunk in your hot tub a little while ago?
Oh yeah, I probably sent you one. That happens.
I want to say on behalf of our viewers, thank you very much for exercising caution.
Thank you.
I was actually going to say that type of materials for Rubber Boots Plus.
That's right. Is that what I get? I get to be in.
When do you get? What do you get when you do 2 pluses and turn them sideways? Double X. Yeah, baby.
Just wait till the Masters pod. Oh man.
Oh, we got breaking news this week. Yeah, Nicole, we have a new house we're moving into this year at the Masters.
Oh, no.
And Nicole let us know this week that there is a keg or a tap or something.
The guy offered to have a keg ready for us.
Wow.
And if I'm Nicole, I'm like, yeah.
Is he insane? Like, why? If you're the owner of that place, why would you encourage such behavior?
My bedroom's down where the keg's going to be, so... I don't know.
This is a big year for the Masters pod because it may be last year almost killed the entire podcast. So this is a huge comeback year for the Masters pod. We have to find a way to walk the line of being entertaining and not repulsive.
Well, what happened last year that was so bad?
I was going to say last year. I mean, the very
people hated last year.
I think it was the year before that it got way out of hand.
Yeah, I think last year was more of a mess with you guys.
Last year people hated the Masters pod.
It's because there was too much. There was 3 conversations at the same time.
Like right now?
Like right now, yeah. Just like right now, there's 6 different people talking at once.
I only have one memory of the Masters podcast, and it's this line. I would like to apologize to the Queen.
That was like 4 Masters podcasts
That was
ago.
probably the one that should have got us canceled.
Hey, while we're on golf, it's probably dated by the time this comes out, but bump. What about Nick Taylor, who just shot 60 in the first round of the Phoenix Open? 5 shots better than anybody else.
Tied the lowest round at Scottsdale there.
You know what? Nick Taylor's a buddy. Maybe Nick Taylor will be our first. We haven't had a guest in years. Maybe we'll get Nick Taylor on at some point. I love Nick Taylor.
He made a ton of, and I think he had a, let me just look. I think he had a bogey too in that round yesterday because he Thursday's round got rained out.
No, he was pure.
He was all today?
Just all birdies. Yeah, I went through it earlier.
He made a 30-footer on the 7th for par, which was huge. He's already bogeyed once in the second round, but
hey, Stoff, did I talk about last year near the end of the season about how I killed Nick Taylor's father on Free Agent Frenzy? Or was our season done by then?
Don't believe so.
I don't. This doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah, Free Agency Frenzy. Yes, my season was definitely done by then.
So, quick story. We decided on Free Agent Frenzy last year, our NHL Free Agency show, that we will put out a putting green and try and recreate the Nick Taylor putt. You know, we got a lot of time to fill. It was Canada Day. We're kind of celebrating Canada. We thought we'd celebrate Nick Taylor. So we had Nick on as a guest, and we attempted the putt. I think O-Dog and I, maybe. But I was in the commercial break before Nick was coming on. I was texting him just to ask him. I'm trying to find the text thing here. I wanted to know if he was more of a Canucks fan or a Leafs fan. And he texted me. The text was, you can't see it. It says, can you see it if I put there?
Hold on, I'll put you on the big screen, Jimmy.
He writes, more Canucks probably. More Canucks probably, but follow the Leafs more if late. So typo. Dad is a big Leafs fan. Obviously, I'm very busy on Free Agent Frenzy, all right? So I had like 30 seconds. I texted Nick. I just glanced down at the phone and I saw late dad. I saw the 2 words next to each other. Late dad.
Oh, boy.
So I'm like, oh. So I come on and I'm talking to Nick and, talking about his glorious putt. And then I say, I know your late father loved the Leafs. And he goes, no, my dad's alive, but yeah, he does love the Leafs. You know, Nick, as a professional, he saved me, basically carried. And I was like, right in my head, I went, what the? And so I went to commercial break and I'm like, what are they? And I looked at it and I realized that he just had a typo. He was trying to say, I follow the Leafs more of late, but it said if late he typed if instead. So all I saw was if late dad is a big Leafs fan. And so right away, I'm like, I texting and I'm going, I'm so sorry, Nick. To me, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. Please apologize to your dad for me. Can you give me your dad's number? And I'll text him right away and I'll send him a bunch of TSN stuff. So he sends me, he sends me the number, and then the dad within 5 minutes, I'm like, so sorry, Mr. Taylor. He starts sending me memes of like, the one with the wrestler rises from the dead in the coffin. So the rest of the free agency, he's just sending me memes of dead guys coming back to life. So Nick Taylor's dad has a great sense of humor. Shout out to Jay Taylor. Okay, sorry, Stoff. I've really derailed this, so continue the show.
Oh, no worries. It is now time for the socials. And we will start the socials. I sent you this video, but I don't think you had a chance to watch it. I will play it right here. I just wanted to point out the excitement from these announcers at the 2023 Excel World Championships. Now, we're talking Microsoft Excel, like the spreadsheeting software. There's a World Championships. Well, let's just take a look and listen and see.
The top 4 will be moving on to the finals. Yes. See, that's it. See, wow. These. Oh my God. These probably was sitting on points. This is bold. Look at crossing his arms. No. The guy is flexing. He's flexing. 16, what is he doing? Look at this guy.
That is a lot of excitement over spreadsheets.
Was that Kevin Hart hosting that show too?
Possibly.
What? So I don't even understand. Do you know guys have any idea what you were seeing right there?
I'm assuming that they have a certain amount of tasks they have to perform in Microsoft Excel, and they're timed on how well they do it, the accuracy probably. Like, there's a competition for everything now.
That commentary about how excited he got reminded me, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but Fox did a Man versus Beast show way back. And so they had Kobayashi, who was the hot dog eating champion at the time, against a bear.
Wow.
And so Kobayashi, he got destroyed by the bear. Like Kobayashi's like, and the bear's just shoveling him in. And the guy, the guy who was an analyst, they had a commentator and an analyst, and the guy was analyzing the technique of the bear eating hot dogs. The bear was like, and he goes, "Look at the bear," and he circles. He's just shoveling it in. Well, yeah, he's a bear, for crying out loud. That guy's excitement reminded me of that guy.
It sounded like Little John. Yeah. What? Look what he's doing. What? Yeah.
Can you isolate that sound from Lester that we can use as a drop?
Yeah. Sure, we'll use it in the right type of context at all times.
I got to get those guys to do the top 50 list for the CFL. Like these World Excel guys. Takes me forever.
What else you got, Stoff?
Well, this next video comes from Stephen A. Smith.
And this is our...
So I like for you to hear this part first and tell me if it sounds familiar to you at all.
Are y'all ready for this question? You're in an arena with 50 hawks, 10 crocodiles, 3 brown bears, 15 wolves, 1 hunter with a rifle, 7 Cape buffaloes, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, 4 lions. Pick 2 to defend you while the others attack you. The goal is to survive 1 hour.
I was never the biggest Stephen A. Smith fan, but watching this thing in its entirety, I actually greatly enjoyed it. If Stephen Smith did that every day, I'd watch his show every single day.
Pretty good, right?
Kind of thievery from our last week. Did you listen to last week's episode, Mump? So you're aware that we did this?
Yeah. And Stoff's idea was the best one. I love Stoff's one.
Get the hawks to fly you
Get
around,
the hawks
right?
to lift them up.
Avoid the gunfire.
Yeah, and then you pick the other guy so he can't shoot you down. That was the best one.
That was pretty good. Although I don't know that in a real world that the Hawks would actually pick you up. It's not a Looney Tunes cartoon.
What do you mean? They pick up all kinds of animals to kill them and eat them.
I had a hawk right outside my door here in Baden, and there was a dead rabbit, and it just came swooping down, grabbed it, pulled the head right off.
Why was there a dead rabbit outside your house?
I don't know. I shot it or something.
Yeah. Maybe there.
Whoa!
Maybe we have a little add to the mystery of the dead rabbit in my yard a few years ago that Jared was
solved that mystery,
unreasonably blamed for. I met somebody from Baden the other day. Baden. I don't remember his name. Does everybody know each other in Baden?
I know of quite a few people here, but no, not
Could
everybody.
have only been Rick or Tom.
Are you going to play the rest of the Stephen A. Smith rationale? Or?
It's an interesting take. We can analyze. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Are y'all ready for this from me? Lions are the king of the jungle. I'm rolling with the lions. And are y'all ready for this? 10,000 rats. I didn't say mice. I said rats. I'm going with the rats. Let me tell you something right now. I don't know too many things in life that would stick around to fight with 10,000 rats. So let's get that out the way. That's number 1. Number 2, I can pretty much guarantee you it won't be the 1 hunter with a rifle because you ain't going to get 5 of those rats. What about the 9,995 left coming at you? Good luck with that. You don't want no pieces of that.
So the rats are key for him. He is right, though. 10,000 is a lot.
It's a lot of rats.
Like,
I felt very sheepish. Besides your argument about the hunter, no, but I felt stupid having picked the hunter initially last week because the hunter would be dead in a heartbeat. And
I might kill him.
I'll say this about Stephen A. Smith, and the reason he's so successful is that, we'd sit here and talk about this thing and waver 18 times. He just picks this thing and then defends it, whether he's wrong or right.
Super definitive, too.
100% definitive. He's going with his rats and his lions, and nobody's going to talk him off of it. I like it.
I like Cape buffaloes though. Are they more nasty than regular buffaloes? The Cape buffalo was quite.
I think so.
Well, I think the capes are bulletproof, though. So you don't have to worry about they just like.
They got the different horns. I know that because I used to have safari cards when I was a kid.
What were safari cards?
I feel this is a brand new segment.
Yeah, safari cards. I wish I still had them. I did have them for my parents did have them for a while. So basically, it was like
it's like hockey cards just for
like
animals.
hockey cards, and it's a whole bunch of animals. I had like a ton of them.
So, what kind of stats would they have on the back, if you don't mind?
They would have where they were prevalent,
where they were drafted.
they'd have a thing of the world, and it would highlight where they are in the world. What they eat.
Interactive map.
It was quite extensive, actually. And they had them broken down. They had them color-coded for what they were: arachnids, mammals, reptiles. I had a whole bunch of them. It was awesome.
And would you trade them with people, or
You were an elite nerd,
no?
eh?
I didn't hang out with anybody.
That's fantastic, Jimmy. An elite nerd.
Hey, if you're gonna do something, do it to the max.
Damn right.
You ever bring them on your early dates? Hey,
Oh yeah, all the time. They love them.
you want to see my
Come on down.
python? Here, it's on a card. It's from Africa.
And see, it means it's a reptile.
Sorry, continue.
Flip it over. It lives in Africa and South America. How about that knowledge? How about me dropping that knowledge?
That was
Look
pretty
it
good.
up.
No need. You have the cards. We believe you. Don't really know how to transition to this. Lester wanted this video here. He came across an advertisement from someone from Vegas, and we're going to react to it
Oh, good.
right now.
Oh,
I know what
Hey,
that's
it's
good.
James in Vegas, having a great time, but I have to tell you, the one thing that bothers me about this week, it's too commercial. There's billboards everywhere. Every player who comes to town is selling some product. I just want to focus on football. While I'm munching on my Takis rolled tortilla chips. Brand new intense nacho. Delicious and non-spicy. Big party this weekend for the game in Toronto. Check the caption for details.
Also available in Fuego.
Fuego!
I was going to go out and buy Takis because I also saw that, and I was going to have them while I was on, but I didn't have the intense nacho in
Let
my
me ask you.
area.
Here's my question. This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
The Rubber Boots Podcast, brought to you by Takis. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it happen.
The rubber
Well,
boots talking points.
Oh.
In the business, they call these things brand partnerships. Okay, you got to feed the kids once in a while. And the Takis people approached me and Lindsay Hamilton. They're having a big party this weekend. I guess it's Super Bowl, and they said, "You're going to be at Super Bowl. Could you do a little Takis singing?" Frankly, I'm hesitant to do these. I do my McAlpine Fords, but I don't do too many. I think you could fairly say my Instagram, there's not like too many. I'm not like selling stuff all the time.
Not at all.
I thought, if I could make fun of myself in the ad, and so there. So anyway, I had to carry that.
Phoebes, you like Takis, right? Yeah, see? Couldn't
There's
hear
another
Phoebes.
Takis. There's another one coming tonight. I can give you guys a preview.
Ooh, is it a different new flavor?
No, I think I just did one. I did one walking along the strip, talking about parties, because Takis is, I want everybody. If you hear this and you live in Toronto, go to the Takis party on Saturday.
Whose videos are more creative, yours or Lindsay's?
I'm trying to see if Lindsay has posted hers yet. We're supposed to be doing these in sync together. We're supposed to be a team.
Lindsay's probably on a beach somewhere. She seems to be on a
That girl
beach.
travels, man. That girl gets
Awesome.
places.
I know she was in
Girl
Florida
gets
a couple days ago,
places.
yes.
Is that where it was? Florida? Yeah, she was on vacation.
Because I asked her, where are you?
She's,
Well,
she sees the world.
That's a great move by you, Lester, to get to know where she was by asking. Smart.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my. I don't think I have actually. I was really concerned because I think I have to do another McAlpine Ford spot soon, and I have a new tailor-made one coming out shortly. So
When is that going to equate to me getting a nice box of golf balls? Your
I'll take
tailor-made
care of
stuff.
you. Oh, my Nick will take care of you. What do you need? TP5, the little TP5X,
Whatever.
best golf balls in the world. I'll talk to my boy Nick. We'll hook you up. Remember the first year we went to Cabot? You were on the inaugural Cabot trip, and we had all those boxes of rubber boots balls that we spread all across Cabot.
When they do the TaylorMade TSN thing, it's like, oh, here's a box of balls. I'm like, yes.
Yes, no doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, just to get back to that spot, though, Jimmy, I did think it was well done. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm not sucking up if I want to go golfing with you or anything, or I want free Takis chips for life. I'm just telling you how I feel.
All right. Takis are good, by the way. I'd never tried them before this brand partnership, but I very enjoyed my intense nacho flavor. Continue along, Stoff.
Is it very intense?
I can't give any more Takis advertisement on here until they start giving us a little money for the pod, okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough. All right. Well, let's move on to listener mail.
Listener mail. Listener mail. Thank you for listening.
Listener mail. Listener mail.
So this one comes in from Brian Hayden, who is a resident of Bradford, Ontario,
Hey.
as am I. So big shout out to him, big fan of ours, and he was also Shower Thoughts in the Platinum League. He made it to the Final Four, fell a little bit short, but he writes in, my wife watched the entire episode of the podcast with me for the first time. She thinks you guys are weird. Probably a compliment. And feels for Brooksy. Name drop her, Laura, and I'll pay the $4.99. So shout out to Laura.
Boom.
And
Laura. This is how it works. This is how it works. Nobody should feel, Laura, if I can speak to you directly. Thank you for watching. And we are a little bit weird. We don't take that as an insult.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should feel for Brooksy right now. Trying to find this. I'm doing a lot of visuals on this pod. We might have to just take this and turn it into we have to get our YouTube audience. We're getting the YouTube audience up a little bit more.
It's getting there.
Okay.
Well,
Brooksy
back in the
is,
day, we didn't have videos, and all our pods were just talkies.
There's Brooksy right now in Switzerland.
I got that, Lester.
What did he say? I missed it again.
See, I caught it.
He's going for the talkie
I'm going for the talkies. I said back in the day, we didn't have videos, and all our podcasts were just talkies.
That's terrible.
Hey, listen to
so terrible it might work.
Sometimes, folks, when I'm at home and I'm looking for a delicious snack, I don't know what to do. And so that time, I remember my good friend James Duthie and his endorsement of talkies. If you're looking for a snack, folks, that's what you go.
You should have made him full screen for that one.
Yeah.
I'll learn for next time.
You said in that case,
I buy anything you sell, Lester. Anything you sell, I'd buy.
Good to know.
Yeah. And yet, unless you're selling male Asian prostitutes, in which case I'll take two.
He already has a hookup.
You already have your own hookup, boys.
They leave the bathwater and everything. Yura Tapiainen writes in case you were wondering how Jimmy got into the U2 show, and he attached an article titled "Man Arrested After Climbing the Sphere in Las Vegas Ahead of Super Bowl." So,
no.
He thought that
I don't know how that's.
Why would you do that?
I don't know how that's possible. I guess it's ribbed. It just doesn't look like. There's got to be structure, obviously, to it. So there's got to be a way to do it. But people are idiots.
Pete in Japan writes in, Jimmy.
Pete in Japan tonight. Pete in Japan. All right. Yes.
Beautiful. Love it. Now, so this one was, I guess we had a little bit of controversy after Puffy shouted out Ho, who is his friend, Erwin Ho, last podcast. I did not realize that Pete in Japan's last name is Ho as well. But his actual on Twitter is Peter Ho in Japan. So Pete in Japan wrote in clarification needed. Was Puffy talking about me as Ho owes us a lot, like at least $100, or was there someone else? So the answer is there was someone else. Mm-hmm. It's Puffy's actual friend who was in the Platinum League, I believe, 2 seasons ago.
Yes, he was.
And so shout out to Ho, shout out to all our hoes, basically, is what I'll say.
Yes. We love the hoes here on Rubber Boots Podcast.
Main Damie writes in, new segment idea, Hipster Jimmy mispronouncing new technology and trends, #Partheon.
Pantheon, Partheon. What is it called again? A Parnian? What is it?
Patreon.
Should we actually set up the Patreon? But what would we? I don't want to charge people
I'm
for the
tempted
normal
to do
pod.
it just to see like
If anybody
how
actually
many
signs up.
individuals would sign up.
Like right now, it roads to Albania, like I said. So you might want to. I don't know how much you're getting out of that, of the Albanians.
We just need to figure out what we can actually give them. You know, because we can't give them a raw version because this is pretty raw. As it
Very
is.
true, very true. Some sort of bonus content. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
All right.
But if listeners have ideas, please do write in. We will take your suggestions.
Oh,
Jason
I got an
Olsen.
idea. Maybe
Yes.
just Bump does like Safari Card of the Week.
That's a great idea.
I like that. We could have rubber boot safari cards.
Rubber boot safari cards. Today's animal, the three-toed sloth.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Yeah.
I'll pay you $5.99 just to do that for me at the Masters every day.
You got it.
Yeah.
Done.
All right. Well, there you heard it at the Masters debut. So we got Jason Olsen who writes in from the January 26th podcast. The commercial was for J.E. Grocery, 139 Reynolds Street in West
Thank you.
Rochester. I loved hearing that guy rhyme off the weekly specials. That's in reference to Jimmy because you used to get the Rochester American commercials.
Yes, and I'll do a bad accent, but it's a J&E Grocery. What was it? 199 Reynolds Street.
139,
Who wrote that in?
Jason Olsen.
Jason. Thank you for that, Jason. And Jason, maybe you could write back and tell me, is this guy still doing these commercials? 139 Reynolds Street? Like, is that still happening? Because I was a little boy child when I watched those commercials. So, man, that's
Maybe
a long
he's much
time ago.
older and much more desperate now. Like, please come down to my store.
He sounded like Krusty the Clown there.
He did
A little bit.
You do a pretty good Krusty.
World's okayest golfer writes in, is it because Lester and I are Habs fans? Is that why our comedy is always getting interrupted? $1.99 for rubber boots goulashes was comedy gold. Still love you guys. So I guess
there's another bonus coverage. So on the bonus coverage, I just get muted and Lester just keeps rhyming off his puns.
That's pretty good. And you can do nothing about it.
I can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can see me like angrily just like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Our audio audience loved that example. So Sean Morrison writes in, Love on the Spectrum is amazing. I don't watch much TV. That's because he's too busy watching our YouTube channel, our old episodes. But I've seen both seasons of it. So he also recommends it like you did, Jimmy.
Awesome.
We got a couple of people's answers here for the arena question with the animals. Ricky, who sent in the question, answers, wolves and lions for me. A rifle would take too long to reload, and one man with a gun could not adequately protect from all the beasts out there. Snack Bites Pete says, for the hypothetical, I think y'all are sleeping on the power of a full-grown bison. I'll take my chance with the gorillas and bison on my team. Mm-hmm. And then Pete in Japan, I take 10,000 rats and 50 hawks swarming the ground and from the air. So he's going with volume.
Pretty good arsenal.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. And Andrew Barron writes in, thanks for coming back, boys. # Drew Crew. So shout out to all our Andrews out there. And the last piece of mail is, again, from Bad Bunnies TV, who have reached out before. This one says, are you ready to level up? Are you an adult female content creator or ever thought of being one? So you don't even have to be an adult female creator, just if you've considered it, Jimmy.
Well, with your success with bathtubs and hotels, you should be good.
Why not?
No kidding, man.
Okay, how much money, how big does the bag of money have to be, Jimmy, that Bad Bunnies would have to give you in order for you to become a adult female content creator?
Wow.
Yeah. I'll do it for 100K.
100K, that's it.
That's pretty cheap.
I need a change.
Wow. There's girls on the internet selling their bathwater for twice that.
Yeah.
That's what you should have tried to do, Jimmy. You should have tried to sell the bathwater.
I used to use that pickup line when I was in high school or like early college in the bars. You ever hear it's a cheesy old pickup line where you go up to a girl and say, "I'd drink your bathwater"? Somebody taught me that. It never worked. It never worked.
I'm not surprised.
Usually they look disgusted. I tried it a couple of times. I didn't have a lot of success.
Wow.
I got
We'd be
maced.
we'd be better off with nice shoes. You want to hit it?
Was that the one you used?
Sadly, that might actually be better.
It works every time.
Okay, so we got nice shoes. Want to hit it? We got me going. May I drink your bathwater? And we got, hey, are you aware that the macaque monkey lives in?
It's not a macaque monkey. It's just a macaque.
Okay, so to our female listeners, out of those 3 eligible bachelors, tell us
Who you want?
Who
Who are you going to take? I think it's a compliment. May I drink your bathwater is the most
No, man. Look,
the biggest compliment you can give.
Look, I am the winner, and I'll tell you why. Women love shoes. That's it. The fact that I noticed the shoes is going to override the fact that I've been completely crass with this woman. Works.
As they said in Legally Blonde, straight guys don't know shoes.
Good point.
That was the line from Legally Blonde. That's how she cracked the case.
That's why we brought you on once again.
I watched White Lotus recently.
Oh, yeah.
It is not good, man.
What?
It was average. I did not enjoy it.
Which season did you watch?
Both seasons.
I thought it was pretty good.
Cut him off. Cut him off.
You
You know what?
yourself
I was
the
thinking.
Masters.
I was thinking in my head, you just having a real comeback episode. You didn't pull out your emotional bump from every Masters podcast. You were pretty insightful. You brought some comedy, and then you had to go and trash yourself, trashing White Lotus.
Wow.
It's a joke.
Like I just watched it the last few weeks, both seasons.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. It's okay. You're allowed to have an opinion on this thing.
Yeah, even though it's wrong.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It was just okay.
All right.
Not blown away.
Hey man, listen. Honestly, Jimmy, so glad you're down there. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. It's looks like a great time. It looks like a great atmosphere, and I just hope it's a good game. That's it. That's all.
I'm super excited. Look, I'm so lucky to be here. I'm not going to be upset if the Niners lose. I'll be a professional, I promise you. And I like we talked about earlier. I like Mahomes and the guys too, and it's cool to witness greatness, which is what Mahomes and Kelsey are. But it will be cool to watch your team win a Super Bowl while you're there working it. Like that's a pretty rare opportunity. I was just a little kid when the Niners were winning all their Super Bowls. So
Jimmy, sorry, were you at the one where the lights went out against the Ravens?
I was not at that one, and I think that was, what year was that? Like 2012 or something, maybe? I think that was the last one I didn't go to, Stoff, before I started going again. Like I went to some in the early 2000s, and then hockey got too busy, and then Rodsky stopped going, and I started going again, like I think 10 years ago. So I think that was just before
2013. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I started going again like 2014. So there you go.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you guys. If I didn't say it last week, did I tell you the story about little Jimmy and the first time he ever appeared on a broadcast of any first time he was ever in media? So
that
when
game
I was
show you were on?
No, when I was before that, I was probably 10, 11 years old. When the Niners won the Super Bowl on that last Montana drive. And I called a radio show in Ottawa, just a talk radio show. And the little Jimmy came on and said, "Hi, I'm James from Gloucester." And I said, "Guys, I think that you're talking a lot about Rice and Montana, but to me, I think John Taylor is going to be the hero of the Super Bowl. He's a really good receiver that everybody forgets about. I'll hang up and listen." And John Taylor, of course, caught the game-winning Super Bowl catch. So all these years later, little Jimmy is going to say that Juwan Jennings is going to have a massive impact in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's going to make 8 catches. Okay, Juwan Jennings is an underrated third option in the National Football League. When Debo went down in that game against Green Bay, several big catches, good hands, tough guy. Juwan Jennings will make a play that influences the outcome of this Super Bowl. Take it to the bank, put it on your FanDuel or whatever. It's going to happen. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody, from the Rubber Boots Podcast.
Hey, how are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up, I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair?
Do you like the dunk tank
At the fair?
the dunk tank
At the fair? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up, please. Somebody? Hey? Anyone?